I am a second-year emergency medicine resident under Dr. Warren at Rutgers University near New Jersey Medical School. I was born and raised in New Jersey, actually born at University Hospital some years ago, and I'm glad to be here in an effort to help the community.
All right, thank you.
You could pass the baton to anybody else who did.
I'll pass it to my illustrious graduating senior, Dr. Rogers.
She's graduating, so she's going to be on the scene.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I'm Kiara Rogers. I'm a fourth-year resident at Rutgers. So I am graduating in my last year. I'm originally from Illinois, but I came out here for residency. So thank you for having me today.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. And we're just going to introduce two other people briefly so that we can actually start the show, because we do stream to Facebook Live also. We have two people on who are also survivors of COVID and who are going to share their experiences as well. Good friends of mine. I'll give them a bigger shout out when we start. But Tasha and Tanya, if you can introduce yourselves briefly while I get ready to set up on Facebook Live.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tanya Neal. I'm a native of Philadelphia. And I live currently in Charlotte, North Carolina. Been in the medical field over 21 years doing phlebotomy. And that's the reason why I caught COVID, from going into the COVID rooms and drawing blood.
All right, and Tosh.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ratasha. I live here in Philadelphia. I am a COVID survivor. And I work at the hospital, University of Penn. I do medical records, and I'm just blessed just to be here, from dealing with what I went through with COVID.
All right. So, just so that you all know, especially if it's your first time, we are a very family-oriented program. So you relax, don't get nervous. We try not to put people on the spot. Although Brandon likes, he wants to make sure, we get some excitement and energy.
Yeah.
We don't have any excitement and energy, Brandon, he's going to wake us up. So I warn you of that.
Wait, Mr. Rich.
Yes?
I have a thing. So I'm into a lot of Korean things, right? So there's this word called paksu. It means clap. So if I say paksu, I have to clap to anybody, like in the beginning, say paksu. Everybody just be clapping for all the survivors or anything like that. So we could do that in the middle, because, everybody hype. And I say paksu, like that. So yeah.
You got it. You're the boss. Those are my bosses, by the way.
I'm Rich. You was talking so loud, you muted yourself.
She's everybody's mother. So I'm warning you ahead of time that Brandon and JaiOlivia, that's what we enjoy about the show too. So if they get on each other, don't worry about it. We do allow it. But I'm also known as the mediator. So if I need to jump in, I will. All right. With that in mind, JaiOlivia, you want to play slight music, or if you guys want to talk, once you see me take the screen off of share, that's when we will begin. All right, because I'm going to begin to stream it live.
Okay. Oh yeah, and guys, I'm in my dorm now. So if whoever is always in here, I'm in my dorm. I'll do a dorm tour probably after the show if y'all stick around. So because I don't want to do.
I want to see it. I want to see your dorm. I'm excited for you.
You're excited? Okay. Well, here comes the music. All right. It's on my iPad, so I could just pause it quickly. This song is called Independent Together from Steven Universe, the movie. So.
Nothing holding you back now. No one can push you around. Master of you, and isn't the thought enough to lift you off of the ground?
Nothing is holding me back now. No one can push me around. What do I want to be? I'm the master of me. Isn't the thought enough to lift me off of the ground?
We could together. Independent together we can fly. Independent together. Independent together. Independent together. You and I.
Hi, Miss Rihanna.
Higher moment, endless sea. No one brought us here but me. Every step and every choice. It's my fault, it's my thought, it's my words, it's my voice.
Independent together, independent together, we try.
It's my fault, it's my thought, it's my
I pressed
words,
the
it's
wrong
my voice.
That's all right. That's all right. So we are ready. So again, thank you all very much for joining us today on BET Talks. Again, if this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you today. All right. And each week we have several topics hosted by our wonderful JaiOlivia and Brandon. So far this year, I mean, it's been so passionate and so exciting. The very first Saturday, we had some motivational speakers on here, and man, they got us pumped up and ready to move forward towards success. If you haven't seen it, make sure you reach out to me. All right, you want to check that out. And we got them for free, y'all, because they can be very expensive. But they're part of the BET family, but we want to support them. So I'll tell you a little bit more about them later. But again, thank you, Christopher Ridenauer, Ayana Blount, Miss Michelle Snow. And then we also had Christine and them come on and did something about nutrition right after somebody gave me a platter. So I had to put the platter down. And that was fun. All right. This week, all right, we have the COVID impact. And we know that there's been a lot going on around COVID. In fact, one of the shows that, Brandon, our youth council president, requested last week was, after all the things that took place in DC, our young people got real passionate talking about those events. And we know that's continuous, but right now we have a breath of fresh air. There's some changes that have been made, and so we've been excited about that. And hopefully that will, not hopefully, we know that that's going to help us as we move along. So I'm going to be quiet very shortly. I'm going to turn it over to, again, our wonderful host in JaiOlivia and Brandon as they introduce, again, our special guest on today, who are going to try to help us get through some of the things that we're going through. But as long as we're here, know that we can live with purpose, we can love with purpose, and we can share with one another so we can continue to move forward in spite of everything that's going on. So again, thank you for joining us here on BET Talks. And to those who are on Facebook, feel free to post some questions or some comments or some thoughts, and we'll try to get them in as well. With that in mind, Ms. JaiOlivia, introduce yourself, and then Brandon, introduce yourself, and then I will introduce the order, and you guys take it from there.
Okay. Hi, everybody. Well, and from Facebook Live and from Zoom, welcome to BT Talks. I am one of your hosts, JaiOlivia Darden. I'm 19. I'm currently a college student, freshman right now, and I just moved in my dorms. Yay. Well, my quarantine dorms, actually. So, but it's an honor to meet everybody, and like for all the people, the patients who help with COVID and who's like the first responders and the people who are survivors. We are really appreciative you. And when I said before, you can say Paksu, that means clap. So Paksu, everybody clap for all the survivors out there. Yay. Okay. Yeah, so that's my introduction for right now. But next we got Brandon.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to BET Talks. Again, if those of you who are new and just now getting the information from your friends or just hearing about BET Talks and this is your first time watching, you really are missing out. So please go to Mr. Rich's Facebook and go watch our previous shows because they are amazing. Always. Every show is always awesome. So everybody, I would hope that you are regular people who come on and watch. But if you're new, like I said, go watch it on Facebook. My name is Brandon McDonald. I'm currently Amy student. I mean, middle school student. Sorry. I'm just really excited about this show. I'm getting real tongue-tied because we got some amazing people on the show today. But I am currently a middle school student. I'm in 8th grade and I attend Amy Northwest. 13 and the youth council president of BET. So yeah, I hope we have a good talk today.
All right, awesome job, you two. So here's how we're going to work it today. We're actually going to have our doctors, our first responders speak first, and just give us a little introduction. I know, pre-show you gave us an introduction, so feel free to do that again, and tell us a little bit about your experience and what your experience has been like dealing with COVID. After our doctors, we're going to have, our survivors, people who have gone through it, to share their stories, and then we will open it up for questions, so that we all can get the support that we need. Because some people say, this COVID thing, oh, it ain't that real. Well, we have some folk on here who can tell you it's real. All right. So we're going to start with Dr. Warren. We'll start maybe how we did earlier. And you know how we did it earlier. You can pass the microphone, pass the football, pass the information. But let's have fun, even though we're talking about something very serious. Again, it's very important that we live. And that's why you'll notice that we'll smile a lot. We'll joke a lot, and sometimes it may be corny, but we know that draws smiles too, because we have to, they say sometimes laughter can be the best cure, even through the rough times. All right, so with that in mind, Dr. Warren, again, thank you. Thank you, Colette Butler, for introducing, our new family members to us. Let's enjoy this.
I'm gonna just introduce myself, but I really want the residents to be the one to speak with you. But I'm Dr. Warren, Karma Warren. I work at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School and University Hospital in Newark, New Jersey. I am what we consider attending, and we are an academic center. So I'm here making sure that our residents will become the best emergency medicine physicians that they can be. And they're here today to share with you, and I'll back them up about anything that we've seen since last year. It's been like absolutely crazy because we are the front line of COVID. And so we've seen it all, and I'll let them introduce themselves and talk.
Now I know we just started, but I already got an idea of something I really want to ask you, Miss Warren. So you ever read a book called The Pact?
They're really good friends of mine.
Really? That is so cool, because I was just reading that book. I just finished that book. And when you said Newark, New Jersey, I was like, I wonder if she knows the people that made The Pact.
Yes, two of them are physicians and the other one is a dentist, but we all went to medical school together.
Wow, that is amazing.
Yeah.
Ooh, fancy. Oh, she famous.
No, I'm not.
Great.
We'll start with Dr. Akechi.
Hi, everybody. My name is Ronald Akechi, Dr. Akechi. I am a second-year emergency medicine resident physician at Rutgers University, New Jersey Medical School Hospital in Newark, New Jersey. I work under Dr. Warren. I am born and raised in New Jersey. Born in Newark. Now I live in the surrounding area, and I'm excited to be a resident at University Hospital because it's a place where I get a lot of joy in serving people who look like me.
What was COVID like for you last year? What was it like when we were there?
I'll say so. The most interesting part of well, first of all, last year was my first year as an official doctor. I finished medical school. Once you finish medical school, you go on to be you go on to residency, where you start training to be a full-fledged physician. And when I graduated medical school in 2019, I figured I would, there would be some ups and downs and some incredible lessons I would learn as a first-year doctor. But there's nothing that really prepares you for a worldwide pandemic like the one we had, halfway through my first year. A lot of times people going through medical school, my professors would always talk about the pandemic that they faced back in the 80s, HIV, and how it kind of revolutionized the way they thought about viruses and sickness and infectious disease. And it's just really interesting that history has kind of repeated itself in an odd way. Not too dissimilar to in the effects it has on different people, particularly in the aspect of health disparities. And in one way, it was scary to be in this time period. But at the same time, it's something that I feel is kind of a vocation, doing medicine, helping people, and getting the opportunity to kind of work on the behalf of my community. So,
it's really good. Like I was wondering, like from the whole standpoint, like how it is from when you graduate medical school, like what was the first thing you do next? Like, do you just automatically get the job, or you like that? So it's good to go through. Like, do you pick the residency you go to, like what type of field, or do they pick it for you for like recommendation wise?
So there are a couple yeses and nos to that question. So you once you graduate high school, you go to college, and in college you can pick whatever major you want, and then you decide at the end of your college whether you want to go to medical school, and you just have to take a few science courses, and then you apply. You take a big test, and then you apply, kind of like the SAT. There's the MCAT, and then once you have passed those classes and you pass that test, you then go on to medical school. And once you're accepted, you apply to a bunch of medical schools just like you did for college. Once you finish medical school, there's this really, really interesting program called the Match, where you decide what kind of specialty you want to apply for. And then the Match, this algorithm, this kind of system will determine.
You really don't have a choice.
Yeah, it'll decide where you go for residency, and it's a great system program that was designed. It won a Nobel Prize, and that pretty much determines it. But you just, for the most part, you determine what specialty you want, but the system determines where you go for your training. And residency is considered training.
Okay, that's okay.
But you're a doctor. Once you finish medical school, you're a doctor. You're just a doctor of nothing.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, wait, hold on. Okay, I'm done. So the next that was
Dr.
good.
Rogers.
So, I'm Dr. Kiara Rogers. I'm a 4th-year resident at Rutgers, New Jersey Medical School in emergency medicine. So I'm graduating this year in a few months. I'm originally from Illinois, and then I came here for residency. I think the question was, how did we feel during the COVID, since COVID started? To be honest, I remember feeling a lot of uncertainty at the beginning, especially with patients coming in, not knowing really what to do for them, how to treat this, especially since it was something that we hadn't seen before that. As we've gone through almost a year now of this, there's still some uncertainty with it. I think we've gotten a little more comfortable with it, but we don't know exactly what to do. And so it's kind of trial and error from since the beginning, and it still has been. And we can talk about that a little more later. But yeah, it's been a lot of uncertainty for the past year.
Yeah. So I would add too that, honestly, going to work every day was pretty scary. And I would say at the beginning, you have friends that really wish you well. And so they would constantly like email you or text you and say, I'm praying for you. But honestly, that probably put more fear in all of us, because it was like, it would bring it to reality that we were getting ready to go into the emergency department to not only get exposed ourselves to COVID, but also having no idea of how to treat these people that were coming in and dying right in front of us. Like, they would talk to us, 1 minute, and then the next minute their oxygen level would be like crap. And we're running around trying to intubate, not even sure if that's the right thing to do. And so I would say the first few months were pretty stressful. It was very emotional, seeing a lot of people die. You didn't have any visitors at bedside, that type of thing. It's just very emotional. I think it was very taxing. I think as we're now in the second wave, it's just like a different type of patient that we're seeing. We're seeing a lot of patients that are having the post-COVID type of complications. And since, again, this has only been really 9-10 months of us really trying to see this disease, we still have like no definite plan, panacea treatment for this. And so it's kind of frustrating. I mean, we're doing everything we can, but we really don't know what we're doing. We're hoping that this vaccine will help bring down a lot of the numbers, because they're still there.
Well, that's really sad to hear, but because I know that there's been lots of losses, but the effect that I know it has a huge effect on the doctors, having to see that every day. And not only that, we have to thank you all for putting your lives in danger, just to treat us, even if we don't have family members or we ourselves haven't been in hospitals. I still thank you all for treating people with COVID, because y'all risk your lives every day just to help other people, so I do appreciate you. But now it's time for my question. So
Wow. You know what?
but my very first question, I already asked the question because I had to ask it. It was just on my mind heavy, so I had to ask that question. But this is like something that I know a lot of people are wondering. So what are some of the protocols that you take to treat a COVID patient?
We explained it. Would you know what that means?
Well, there's not a definite protocol. Every patient is different, and they're presenting different. So based on how they're presenting, we do approach them at different angles based on that. So I mean, I don't know. How would you want to answer that, Dr. Akachi?
I would say, again, when you are dealing with something that you're unfamiliar with, you kind of work from what you do know. We know that COVID it gives people kind of these cold and flu-like symptoms, a lot of respiratory issues, like lung and breathing issues. So what we do is when we see patients that have low oxygen levels, we give them oxygen. If we see that they need different forms of oxygen, whether it's just through the nose or through the mouth, we kind of supplement from there. Where it gets really tricky, and this is something we can talk about a little bit more if you're really interested offline. What goes on after they can't take oxygen by the nose or by the mouth through like a face mask? What happens then? And then in terms of medications, for something like this, you see now we don't really have medications. You've seen a lot of people have talked about hydroxychloroquine. Some people have talked about a medication called remdesivir, and the results from those medications aren't too great. And so, there's a lot of experimentation that's still going on. So there's really no definitive. Kind of a lot of people are just working with what they know and hoping it works. The best thing that we have so far, and I think any health professional will tell you, is that the best treatment for healthcare or for diseases is prevention. And how we work with prevention is getting a vaccine, which I hope we'll talk about later on today.
Okay.
Dr. Rogers, do you have anything else?
So for me, I think in addition to all the treatment trials and things that we have, when you see a patient come in, it always goes back to ABCs. So in emergency medicine, you'll hear it over again, ABCs, and basically that's just our airway, breathing, circulation. And that's how we approach almost every patient. And so as we approach these patients coming in, that kind of grounds you and gives you a systematic approach of how to treat these patients. Whether we know the exact treatment that's going to work or whatever, I think if we follow that kind of method and think through that in our heads, it'll kind of keep us organized as we go through with treating these patients. So, and beyond that, besides the protocols for treating patients, it's important that we protect ourselves. So make sure that we have the proper gear on and have the proper PPE, so that we can treat these patients and not get infected ourselves is important too.
Mm. Wow, that's informative. I got a question. So I just want to know your opinions on the new vaccine. Like, what do you think is in it? Like, I don't know. Like, did they tell you what is in the vaccination yet, or like, since y'all first responders, or like that part, and like part two, like, what do you guys think of the vaccine in general?
I think all three of us have gotten the vaccine.
You did? Oh yeah, the effects, because I know y'all probably, my mother got it, so I didn't see any effects with her. You're like, whatever, like side effects.
So the vaccine is basically, what's in it is an mRNA. Basically, what that is a piece or a protein which gives our body kind of like a code to make an immune response against the virus. I just want to be very clear that it's not the COVID virus itself. So they're not injecting you with the virus at any point. It's just a piece of a coating so it can fight a protein that the virus has. So if you should get the virus, your body will already have a response to it. And therefore the protein, the COVID itself won't have time to replicate in your body and cause illness. So right now there are 2 vaccines out or that are being used, is Pfizer and Moderna. And they're pretty much almost the same. It's just, I think Moderna has a little bit of higher load of the mRNA as compared to the Pfizer, as well as how they're stored. So that's primarily the difference between the 2. There are trials for other ones, such as, I don't know, I forget the name of it, but there will be one where it's a inactivated form of the virus, which still in that case, it won't be giving you a live virus that can cause you to be sick, but that has not been approved for use yet. So basically it's just a protein that you're getting so that your body can make a response to it so that when you have the real virus, you can fight it.
Okay. So like, did you have any effects? Did any effects happen to you guys after like a couple of days? Cause I know it doesn't take like 21 days to get the second shot or something like that, or something like that.
Yeah, so in terms of side effects and like how long the vaccine takes to kind of work, in terms of the side effects, I'd say it's just kind of a sore arm, and it's kind of like any other vaccine you've had, the same vaccines you've had before going to elementary school or to preschool, to elementary school, to college. It's kind of, those side effects they had then are the kind of same side effects you'll have now. The only exception is that sometimes some people will have, some people may get a little more feverish. Sometimes they may have some more sweats. Sometimes they'll have more myalgias, which are just like more muscle soreness. For me personally, my left arm, my shoulder was sore, but I could still write with it. I could still do all my regular chores. I could still see patients with it. My day wasn't particularly affected. Now, at the same time, I do have friends who did come down with some stronger symptoms where they, instead of just their whole arm, their shoulder, maybe it was their whole arm that was a little bit sore. Some people, they had, their whole body was sore. Some people said that they just felt kind of a little bit weak, but then in the day after that, they felt fine. And so again, the risk that we've seen with other vaccines and other shots that people have gotten are the same kind of effects we're seeing now with this vaccine.
Okay.
So why would you think that why do you all think that people are scared to get the vaccine?
Why do I think people, actually, I don't want to speak for everybody else, but what have you heard?
Well, me personally, I just, people, I can't tell if what they're doing is true or not, but I know that what I've seen with people getting the vaccine and them getting ill, falling ill, or getting, sick from it, and it's a lot of rumors from it. So I just thought maybe I'll hold off, let it go through a couple more, stages before I would get the vaccine.
Okay. All right. So here's what I would say. I think there are always going to be people who are hesitant. If you had to take a bell curve, kind of like if you were to take a bowl and put it on the table, you're going to have people that are on opposite. They're going to be people who are going to be the first people to take a vaccine, and then some people and we call those people early adopters. And then you have people who like to wait and see, and that's the majority of people who like to wait and see. And then you're going to have some people who kind of like to take their time. And I think those are just natural phenomena. We see this all the time when people are buying different products. Some people only a couple people will buy the iPod, and then people see how good it works, and then a whole bunch of people buy it. And then people are they'll stick with their Android like me and will not decide to buy the iPod. But either way, those feelings are fine. But I think when we're talking about something a little bit more serious, I hope that kind of that bell curve kind of shifts more to the side where we want more people adopting this what we consider to be a healthy behavior. So I think the hesitation is fine. I just don't think enough people realize how scary it is to actually have a serious COVID infection. So the arm soreness, I will take that 10 out of 10 days in a row than to be in the hospital, throwing up, not being able to breathe, getting risk of having being on a ventilator, and to a rough sketch of that is having a machine breathe for me. So if I can do one day in my house is not as bad as being in a hospital bed by myself, not being able to see families and not being able to see family and friends.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I saw in the chat, Marquise said, I mean, it was rushed, like for the vaccine, or Marquise, what did you mean by that?
Yeah, for the vaccine, it was rushed. That's how I see it as.
So I think, have you looked at the approval process for drugs?
No, not really. But like, my thing is, as soon as COVID happened and all that, all right, it was like how many months? Like it took us. We was in a year of COVID, right? This our second year about to be in COVID. I believe so.
It's still our one, but yeah.
I think it's our third.
Think about it that way. It started in.
But yeah, and it's just like in those couple of months, y'all came up with a vaccine that fast. I was just like, whoa, like y'all just came out of nowhere with the vaccine that quick. Like, how did y'all even know like what would work, or like how would it work, or it's just like, what did y'all test it on and make sure it would work? And you know what I'm saying? It's like all that stuff combining with that, and so then y'all just like brought it out. And I was like, dang. And it's just like some people was getting I heard that some people was like dying from it. Some people was when they first, some of them got it. And then it's just like, yeah.
Yeah, Marquise, but like you say y'all, but it's not them because they.
No, I'm not saying my fault. Yeah,
well, I mean, but he probably means just
doctors.
Yeah. Medical.
Yeah, when I say y'all, I don't mean like specifically y'all. Like
we don't take it that way.
All
right, I just wanted to make sure so you can know.
So just to, I'm not saying you're totally wrong, but whatever. So it was quick, but I think the thought is that this kind of vaccine came out of nowhere, and mRNA vaccines have been around for a while now. So it's not a new technology that they were coming up with. It's just they were doing it with a different virus. And if you look at essentially the FDA approval process for drugs in general, there's different phases that you must go through in order to be approved for a drug. And a lot of a good chunk of that is like review and approval, and then manufacturing, and then the clinical trials aspect of it. But what happens in these situations where it's a pandemic and a public health emergency is they cut out some of those approval stages so that, because the benefits of the drug, of the vaccine in this case, outweigh the risks that may come about with the approval stages. So yes, there are risks with getting a vaccine, as there is with any medication. And we may not know every single risk at this point, but we're in a pandemic and people are dying. And we know that we can make an mRNA vaccine that is effective. So they cut out some of that approval process that most drugs go through in order to get it.
Well, they didn't necessarily cut out the crucial approval process. Right. That's what I think people were getting kind of confused about. So there was a review board that's not associated with the pharmaceuticals, that's not associated with the government. So other people are making sure that this vaccine is also meeting every area and every marker. The other thing is to understand that vaccines usually take about 10 to 14 years to kind of come into fruition. And you need about, at minimum, 20,000 people to run the vaccine clinical trials. Well, we had this, COVID had at least 70,000+ people available to actually already start this trial, right? So you already have the people available because those who were dying and the urgency of making it happen, everything was in play. So you got all these pharmaceuticals working together. You got all this money from the government that's being thrown away, which is thrown into these pharmaceuticals to make it happen. And then you cut away the red tape, because actually all of these stages are not necessary. You don't need to have every single stage and every single pause and every single break. They removed all of those red tapes and things were able to produce as faster than they would have. But again, like she said, this mRNA technology was first discovered in 1989-90, which I'll say by a female scientist. And so they had already worked on that from 89-90. And they sped it up once we started hearing and having this problem where 400,000 people are dying in just the United States alone. They needed to make it happen.
And I think I think what probably didn't help the process is when you have some people calling the original name of this whole thing is called Operation Warp Speed, which is
Yes.
Out of a comic book or sci-fi series. And I'll tell you, there are health professionals from all landscapes who are like, this is not something I want to be a part of. But that's before all of us started doing the research and starting to figure out how this process went about. And once we realized that someone just put a foolish name on there, we started realizing that people were taking serious steps to ensure that the right methodology was being performed.
Practiced,
We
yeah.
started realizing that this is actually a great process, and hopefully looking forward, this will be the model for getting other therapeutics out there to different populations.
I would just say, listen, I know your aunt, your cousins, everybody done heard a whole bunch of theories and conspiracy theories from, there's a tracking device in the vaccine to they're putting the actual COVID virus inside of you to, infertility. I've heard of that one. Sterility with women who, want to get pregnant later. So I would say do your research. Don't just take what somebody tells you as, even us. I mean, you need to make sure that you do your own reading and that you're comfortable with what you're reading as, not just somebody telling you their personal opinion. Because I look at a lot of the conspiracy theories. I go in and I read, I try to look at what articles and what somebody's putting on social media. And if you really look at it, they're full of fluff. You gotta really investigate that stuff.
And speaking of fluff, I mean, there's some people who we know that fluff is not what it is. And so we're going to continue this conversation for sure. But we are going to take a moment to talk to two people who certainly know that it ain't no joke. And I'm an English teacher, but I'm using that word ain't. It ain't no joke. So I'm going to ask Tasha, before I have the other person come on, Tasha, if you wouldn't mind sharing your experience and also what were you thinking before? Because some people like, this thing ain't real. And then you get it, then your whole mentality changed. Did you think it was real in the beginning? Tasha, introduce yourself and tell us why you didn't mind joining us today.
Hi, everyone. My name is Ratasha. I'm friends with Richard for many years, my son's godfather. And all I can say is COVID is real. Not saying that I didn't believe it, because like I said, I do work in the health field, I do medical records, but I still had to go to work every day. And our office was open, not full staff, but we were open and I had to be there. Not knowing who was carrying the virus, that was scary, because every day, although they say essential workers like doctors and the nurses, but just doing medical records, I still was putting my life on the line because I had to be there. I wasn't home every day. I just want to say I do thank God, because I didn't think that I can get COVID, because I was, hand washing was always something that I always did. Hand sanitizing, like being clean, that I did that anyway. And then for me to get it, it was the worst feeling that I have ever felt in my life. Catching the flu and having COVID is two different things. All I can say is, and I'm just being honest with you, because it does affect everyone differently. As I heard the doctor say, I heard the doctors at my office say, it does. The only thing is, I just prayed and I cried.
because I said to myself, if I had to go into the hospital, I didn't know if I would make it back home to see my family. It's hard to really talk about it sometimes, and I'm sorry for getting emotional, but my name is in CDC now. I could have been one of the 400,000 plus that went on, but I'm still here. Every symptom that I had in July, from the fatigue, loss of weight, not eating, really losing your sense of smell, the fever, and it took so much out of me, and it did mess with my memory. It's something that I would not wish on nobody. I feel as though a lot of people say, well, Tasha, you know, I didn't know you had it. Da, 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 da. I said, well, the only thing that got me through was God. That's all I could say. Because if I had to go to the hospital, like they said, you can't, the doctors just said, you can't have visitors. Nobody is there to see you. You're doing video, you know, to see your loved ones. That's not something that I wanted. And I'm like I said, I'm just happy to be here. Like I said, I thank God for me being here. The opportunity to even to share my story, because I keep telling people COVID is real. Even my coworkers, they was like, Tasha, I didn't know you had it. I said, it's no joke. And it does affect everyone differently.
Yeah, it does.
It just that it hit me hard. I mean, it put me, I was out of work for a month. For that to happen, they know that work, that's not me, because I'm always there. I'm always on my job. And for me to be out longer than normal, that was the part that was like hurting, because I was like, am I going to get better? You know, I had to do 2 tests. I had to take 2 tests, because I know I couldn't go back to work, because I didn't want to affect the people, my coworkers that were in the office. And I wanted them to know, because if they needed to get tested, if they felt the shortness of breath, not being able to breathe was hurting. And my sister was like, Tasha, you got to sit up. Just to sit up like this took so much out of me. They had to bring a chair in my room just so that I can sit up a little bit. But as soon as she left out, I got right back in the bed, because it drains you.
Mm-hmm.
It drains you. And the young lady that'll come after me to tell her story, like you say, her story may be different than mine.
Mm-hmm.
But as far as the fever, the headache, every symptom that they said back in July of what came with COVID, I had it. And I'm just so blessed to be here. I really am. I
Well,
really
to
am.
God be the glory that you're here.
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
sure it was extremely scary.
It was.
I know what you went through was a lot. And so I think what you said, which is very critical, a lot of people don't even realize that even though you survived, those that survived the COVID and are still here with us today, we're worried about the long-term effects. And, you know, some of the stuff you have, people are still having to this day after they recovered from it. So to God be the glory that you're still here.
Thank you. And I thank you for being an essential worker to take care of the ones that are coming in the hospital, because it does affect everybody differently. And I mean, I know it's hard for y'all to see them, because like the other doctor just said, A, B, and C. And I was like, dang, B and C. I'm like, all right, air, breathing, and what was the other one?
Circulation.
So you're trying to figure out, you know, how to take care of them, you know, and that's a hurt piece. And if your immune system is not strong too, it's going to be a hard fight. It's going to be a hard fight. But I'm glad that
but you're here. You're here. And actually, many of us, and even I had COVID too. I have an immunocompromised disorder, and I'm on immunosuppressant drugs. So, I mean, it's very scary. And, you know, my hope is that, you know, people will listen to you and listen to us. It's not a joke.
No,
very
not.
Tasha, and because of that, you know, we'll say to you, you don't have to apologize for crying or getting emotional.
No.
You know, that's a part of the process, and that's also what helps people to see how real it is. One of the reasons why we don't really prepare our guests is because sometimes when you over prepare, It's not light as genuine. So when we, catch you off guard, don't necessarily know when you're going to speak, what questions you're going to ask, you almost kind of have to be real, and that's what makes the difference. So we want to thank you and just appreciate you for, not finding it a robbery to come on and share your experience, because we know it can be tough, and we love you. So we get emotional too.
Right.
So glad to see you.
One time you're here, one time you're in this family, you always stay in the family, and like this whole show is family, even in Facebook Live, because like everybody on here was all emotional throughout every single one of these shows and cried and so like it's just better for us to understand how real it is, and like this is your opinion, and this is what the show is for, to voice out to reach out your voice in a way to make people understand how real a certain situation is, no matter what it is. And your story was just so real. And it's just, and like I don't want to get emotional too, because I'm like that, because like I don't have a weak immune system, I don't think, but I have sickle cell trait. So like I understand, like if I get sick, I'm like done for, not really done for, but I'll be like on the brink. So I like
we're not gonna claim that either. We're not gonna claim it either. We're not gonna speak that, because there's strength, and like Tasha said, and Dr. Warren, we know God is in control, so that we'll leave it at that for now. But not only did Tasha survive, we have someone on here who survived yet another birthday. Her birthday was yesterday, and I wasn't gonna call her and tell her happy birthday, because I said if I tell her happy birthday, then I'm gonna give her the same shout out today. So I have to thank my sister Tanya, and we together in the church. She moved out on us, but I'm glad in her introduction earlier she said, I'm fully grown. That's right. You make sure you shout us out. And before you speak, Tanya, I'm going to share a clip. She didn't mind if I shared a piece of this clip. So again, you can see, how real it is. And you know how they say on TV, if you got young viewers or something around, this can, for some, it can be quite emotional for you. So just giving you that preface, here's Tanya's experience. The whole thing.
I see you. It's a lot that I could say, or maybe I can't say, but it's hard for me to talk and breathe at the same time. Y'all know I get hyped when I'm talking. Y'all, my eyebrows look like they are like cut up on purpose. This is a hot mess. I can't laugh. So y'all laugh for me. I pray to God I get to show y'all victory after this, because this is it's just nothing I experienced before. It's very scary. It's okay to believe in God and still experience something you never experienced before that is taking your breath away. It's okay to feel that way. God knows I trust Him.
I'm going to stop right there. Tanya, love you, girl.
I love you too. I'm trying not to cry. It's hard for me to watch that. Wow, Tasha, you hit it on the nail with a lot of things that I went through. And just the fact that me and you got it in July. I had mine in July, the middle of July. I got sick, and I was in the ICU for 14 days. And as you see on that video, I claimed victory in that video. I talked about God a lot. My background had gospel music. God was with me the whole time. And although I know that, to see it, it's just amazing. My faith just, I've always been faithful, but my faith really was strong in that hospital. I started videoing everyone. That was my first night there. The reason why I picked up the phone to video, because I said, if it's my time, I just need everyone because like everyone said on here, there's so many people that don't believe it. So I was like, I have to do this. So it was to help everyone else. Nothing was selfish that I did. When I had COVID, everything, if I talk about it a lot on Facebook. I said, listen, if I'm getting on people's nerves talking about how I survived, so be it. Because it's horrible. Like, it's something I wouldn't want anybody to go through. And man, Tasha hit it on the nail. I started crying when she was talking, because I haven't talked to anybody about the fact that I feel like my memory is not like it used to be. Yep. And I haven't even talked to my husband about it yet. We're trying to do things. We're trying to, do our own business and everything.
It's called COVID fog.
Yeah.
It's called COVID fog.
Wow. I've been fighting for the longest. So when she said it, it hit me so hard.
Yeah.
But I just want y'all to know that I'm so grateful for y'all, the doctors, the nurses. I know what made it a little better in that hospital is the doctors and nurses. The way they treated us was amazing. And just, I feel for y'all. I pray for y'all daily. When I was in the hospital, it was so many, y'all probably experienced this too, to the physicians, that it was so many nurses that I would ask a question and they'd be like, well, I don't normally work here. I travel, because so many people quit. And I'm like, wait, what? They was like, people are scared. They couldn't even get the food to the people's rooms. Like, the people who work in the dietary area usually come in your room and bring the food. They would like get off the elevator and push it off the elevator, and the nurses and doctors would bring us our food. It's that bad. And I was like, I don't even, I didn't know what to say, but that I'm praying for you, because it's a lot. And real quick, everyone, my daughter had it too. My 19-year-old had it with me. And I just want to say that I owe my husband an apology, because he kept telling me to go to the hospital. And even after I found out I had COVID, me and my daughter had COVID, I'm scared of hospitals. Believe it or not, I've been in the medical field 21 years and I'm scared to be in the hospital. But I just want to let you know, my daughter is the one who saved my life. I know if I would have had COVID by myself, I probably would have died in my house. After seeing my daughter basically hugged on the toilet seat, vomiting for at least 10 minutes, and 10 minutes is a long time. She couldn't even breathe. That's how much she was, choking and vomiting. That made me go to the hospital. And I get to the hospital and the nurses are looking at me like, I don't even know how you're alive. And I'm like, what you mean? They panicked in front of me, first of all. They ran and got the oxygen machine. And they looked at me, they said, you have 43% oxygen. I said, what? They're like, ma'am, like, usually people don't even make it to the hospital at 43%. Then I just kept hearing in the ICU, like, after like the third day, they was like, looking at me like, you got God on your side, because that's all I talked about. I was in there praise and worship all the time. Nurses walked in like, you do you, So they were like, man, I'm so happy for you, because there's so many people we see, like you said, that's talking one minute, and 2 hours later, they, you hear the same room that you were in, you're hearing that it coded. Next thing you know, you're hearing Cold Blue over the announcement. You're like, wait a minute, I just talked to them, 2 hours ago, and they're gone.
First time people, the normal oxygen level is 100%, 96 to 100.
And I didn't
know. You were 40. That's exactly what we were seeing.
Wow. And I'm hyped, because I'm like so excited, that I'm here with you guys. And
you're a blessing. You're a blessing. That's why you're here right now. So you can, testify to other people and let them know, hey, I survived by the grace of God, but I survived, and this is real.
Yes.
You know, the
Thank you so
problem is
much.
people don't have the connection, right? So if you don't have a family member that died, a family member that got real sick, a family member that was put in the hospital, you're like, well, Johnny had it and Johnny's fine. And so-and-so is fine and so-and-so is fine. It's not that serious. Guess what? We don't know who's going to get bad or who not. We know people who have underlying diseases. Yes, they may not have the best course and they may have the most severe illness. But overall, we saw young, healthy male, females coming in and not doing well.
Yes. That's so
You
true.
are the blessing, and that's why you and Tasha are here.
Thank you so much. And real quick, everyone, also, I'm going through something. You know how they say, like you said earlier, is that you don't know the long haul in this. And I am having underlying issues after having COVID. I have heart pain. I have chest pains bad. They're like the worst. They're like 10 times worse than heartburn. And the doctors can't even like treat me. Like they're like, I don't know what to do. But guess what I'm taking, everyone? I'm taking sea moss and elderberry every day, and it takes it away completely. I've actually did it for a month, stopped for a week, and them pains came back. Went back on it, and I'm fine. So I don't know if anybody out there, believes in sea moss and elderberry, but I would say give it a try because it's blessing my whole life. So the doctor told me, hey, it's natural, go for it, because everything else we tried is not working. I can't pop a Tums or nothing and it go away. It's really bad. So yeah, we have to still go through some things after this. So I'm praying for everybody.
Yeah. For everyone, just before we, yeah, just want to throw this out there. For anyone that wants to take natural remedies, just make sure you run it by your doctor so they know what you're taking, because a lot of times if you're taking a medication, even if you're taking something natural, anything that you put in your mouth is a drug, and if and at that point it can affect other medications that you're taking. So I think we all want something natural in our bodies. We also have to make sure that what we're taking is compatible with everything else that's going on in our system. So just make sure you run it by your doctor, making sure that you're not taking a medication that could either amplify its effects or decrease its effects. Okay.
Thank you, doctor.
And I say this to both T's, Tasha and Tanya. Run, Tasha. And, some people say, I don't look like you had COVID. And if that was really such a thing, y'all don't, because you're beautiful, you're smiling, you're here, and we certainly thank you. And I can imagine, Tanya, that you in that hospital, because you were turning up. Like we sitting back here watching you, and you telling the story, and I was trying not to make you laugh because I got jokes all day long. And so, but we were laughing for you, praying with you, and likewise, Tasha, y'all know how we are. So you don't look the part, as some people say, So to God be the glory. You're here. To our young folk and to our adults, do you have questions for any of the doctors, any of our survivors? This is the time to share. Those on Facebook Live, feel free to. I'll try to jump on there and see if you put questions or thoughts in there, but this is your time. We want to take advantage of it while we can. And while you're thinking about your questions, Tasha and Tanya, what do they say about people who've already had COVID and the vaccine? Do you guys get it too? They put you in the back? How does that work?
I heard personally that they were saying that the people who haven't had it, let them get it first. I don't know how true that is, but I haven't signed up yet because like the doctor said earlier, I'm doing research and, making sure before I get it. So.
Well, I'll tell you, there is no contraindication for anyone who's had COVID. I will tell you, like I said earlier, I had COVID, so I also had antibodies. But the problem is we just don't really understand how long the antibodies will be there and how effective they are. So the problem, so you're basically like saying, oh, I got antibodies, I'm good. And then the next month you may not have antibodies. So why chance the antibodies naturally that you obtain from doing COVID versus the vaccine, which will give you total immunity against it. And that's why we recommend. Now, we'll say you don't have to take a test to take the vaccine, but you really don't want to be actively COVID positive, and they'll ask you questions about your symptoms that you may be having. And there is a soft recommendation for a 90-day period from the time that you were COVID positive to the time you get the vaccine.
And real quick, I have to say that I was not for it and not against it. Now, after listening to you guys, I'm getting my shot. So
Good. Good. I mean, I know, listen, we're not saying that it's not scary and, you know, something seems new. You know, this is new in the sense that most vaccines, I mean, the crazy thing is we got vaccines of a live virus that have been put in you for years. MMR vaccine was a live virus. This is not even a virus. This is a messenger RNA, which we already have in our body. And it's like a teacher. It just says, hey, build this protein on your cell. And once your cell builds this protein, your body says, hey, this ain't right. We ain't supposed to have this. So it goes ahead and starts building all of those fighting cells so that once you get exposed to it again, those fighting cells are like, yeah, we ready, bring it on. We ready for you. COVID-19, you are not taking over this body right here. And they automatically will attack it and you will stay safe.
Amen.
I think
Can
just
the
to answer one
doctor speak?
question, yeah.
Can you
It
speak
does,
to?
yeah.
Go ahead, doctor.
I just want to say it does take one thing. I think Brandon had asked me, how long did it take for the vaccine to work? So there are 2 doses you need to take. The first dose takes about, depending on which vaccine you take, it takes a number of weeks between, people are saying between 14 to 21, sometimes 40 some days for your body to build those antibodies. And so what we do to make sure that you do have those antibodies, it does require you to take a second dose. And so to be fully vaccinated and to be sure that you are protected, I would say wait after your second dose, wait another 2 to 3 weeks to be confident you are now fully vaccinated. But definitely make sure you get getting the shots is a huge step. Okay.
Yeah. After vaccine 1, you're about 50%, 55% immunity. And then after the second one, both of the vaccines go up to 95%. They say wait at least 2 weeks before you have the full effect of the vaccination.
So I have a question for Ms. Tasha and Ms. Tanya. So that first week after you overcame or when y'all came home, what was it like? Like just coming home, being back? What was that like?
Go ahead, Tosh.
Okay, thank you, Tanya. Well, I didn't have to go to the hospital. That was one thing because, like I said, I prayed to my mother and father that are no longer here, and to God, and I think that's what just got me through. So just being home was the hard part for me because not being able to go outside, not being able to drive, because, like I say, the memory. Would I be able to? Walking to the front door was like, oh my God, like this is what outside look like when you're in your room because you're quarantined from your family members in your home, for me. So I don't know what the experience is like to be in the hospital like Tanya, because I was even crying watching her video because, like I say, there wasn't nothing but God that got her through, or it got you through, Tanya. I felt it. And like I say, I just think that my body was fighting. It had whatever it needed to fight inside so that it can leave me where I didn't have to go, because only God knew how I would feel if I went there. Because I kept saying to myself, if I go there to the hospital, which would have been Abington, I don't think I would have made it. I don't think I would have made it. So I cried and I prayed to my mother and my father and to God every day. And that's what I think that just pulled me and got me through. And I dealt with everything. All the feelings, all of it. I was scared to go to sleep at night. Because I didn't know if I did close my eyes, will I wake up? Because trying to catch my breath was like, and then to see the tube in you, Tanya, it took a lot. It took a lot. Nothing but God got you through. Nothing but God. Nothing.
And so I'm going to this too.
Go ahead.
And maybe you can bring the next person on because she's going to get me when I say it. But Sadeh popped up and she's still supposed to be 11 or 12. She ain't supposed to be grown like that. But Sadeh, if you can hear me, I'm going to ask you to share, what that experience was like for you, knowing that your mom had to go through that. So go ahead, Tanya. Go ahead, say what you
Okay.
and then Jay on for me.
To answer my young man's question, I actually was on oxygen at home for 3 weeks. The paramedics came to my house every day to monitor me and get me to walk a little further than maybe 10 steps in my living room because I still was so much out of breath. So I went through a lot even afterwards. I lost my job because I had just started in the hospital in March. So I didn't have FMLA. So I trusted God with everything. They wanted me to come, put it this way, they wanted me to come to work. I could have saved my job if I didn't trust God and just went to work. I think a week after I came home, and I could have just brought my oxygen tank. Instead, I just stayed home and trusted God. And I wound up getting a job while I was home. I actually got the phone call while I was in the ICU, which is hilarious. I've been doing phlebotomy for over 21 years. I was so over doing phlebotomy, it wasn't even funny. So I had applied to a job 2 months before I got COVID. Tell me why they contacted me while I was in ICU. They said they had to give the job away to, look for a job when you come out. So I trusted God that week after I got home, applied to that job. And I'm happy to say that I work for another hospital, which I love, and I love my job, which is, I'm telling you, everything is a godsend. So I had to throw that in there. But yes, I came home with oxygen for 3 weeks. Yeah, it was something I had to pray to God about, because I kept asking God, please don't let me stay on oxygen for the rest of my life, because it just didn't look good when I got home.
Wow, this is some crazy stories. Like I'm just so glad that we were able to get everybody on here. But like most of my friends know, I don't shut up that easily. So I still got more questions for everybody.
And
so
Brandon, before you do that, you can bring her in, Brandon. Sadeh is Tanya's daughter. We want to hear from Sadeh to see what
that's what I was going to go on to next, Uncle Rich.
All
right, so we heard from your mom today. We heard from your mom about her experiences. So when you got COVID, what was it like for you? What was it like for you, not only just having COVID, but watching your mom also going through some of the things that you were going through?
So that's a different daughter. Yeah. My 9-year-old is the one who had it with me, which she is fine, everybody. She had it bad, but didn't stay in the hospital. This is my oldest daughter, so she just telling us.
I was about to add to your question because I thought that was the daughter, and I was like, because your mom said you saved her life, and I was like, wanted to know. I was like that part, but like, what was it like you experiencing them with them?
Look, she's a college child, so she actually sleep right now.
Oh, you a college? I'm sleep too. I'm college too. Hey, girl.
That's hilarious. Yeah, it was really it was surreal because I was actually with my sister and my mom the week prior, and spent a lot of time with my sister that whole week. But for some odd reason, I didn't get it. I didn't get it, but my sister and my mom got it. And I would be lying if I told you that it was not scary. It was really, really scary seeing my mom with an oxygen tank. I tried to stay strong for her. I feel like I did a good job in that area. I didn't cry in front of her, but I definitely cried at home. I cried to my husband. I tried to stay away from, saying anything that would remind her of, what she was going through in the moment, but it was really scary. And I know as a believer of Christ, you try to maintain this faith language and you try to, keep high spirits and high hopes, but it was absolutely scary. I would be lying to you if I told you I was not scared. Now I did have COVID. My whole family did have COVID. Myself, my husband, and my 2 sons, we had COVID, but it was earlier last year, literally the week before they gave it the name COVID-19, which was also very scary because my youngest son, who was not even 2 at the time, had a seizure. And that was traumatic. It was really traumatic. So at this point, seeing my mom go through it and then seeing my sister go through it, I'm like, what in the world is going on? What is going on? It was scary, y'all. It was really scary. I'm thankful that they're both okay. We're all okay and we're all safe. But yeah, it's serious. It's real out here, y'all.
It was
Wow,
my
I'm
best
just.
friend.
I'm sorry, Jay.
I just want to say before I go, I'm actually in the hospital right now. But I just want to thank everybody for inviting me on here to speak with my attending Dr. Warren and my senior Dr. Rogers. It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much for all the stories you've shared. Thank you for taking time out to listen to us. It's been a pleasure. Hopefully we don't see you in the hospital. Hopefully you can keep your distance, wear your masks, get vaccinated when you can, and hopefully we can all get through this. Take
Thank
care,
you
everybody.
for joining us. Bye-bye.
Dr.
It was nice meeting you.
Thanks, Doc.
God bless. Take care.
Certainly, thank you. And that's a good transition too, because I mean we'll be on here for a while, so but we don't want to keep everyone. We do announcements, and so following the announcements, we want the first responders who are still here and our survivors. If there's anything you want people to remember, and that you want to share, that we want you to be able to share that. So we're going to do the announcements and then come right back to you. So just hang tight.
Hang tight. Hang tight.
All right, and Brandon and JaiOlivia, don't be fighting over these announcements.
Okay,
It's my turn this week. All right, JaiOlivia did it last week.
You start. I that's what I said. Remember? All right then. So you talk first then. Okay.
All right, so everybody that came out on our MLK Day of Service, thank you so much, because we had a lot of fun that day. You know, everybody was helping out, did great job at the schoolyard. We weren't able to go as far as we wanted to, but we still did a great job at cleaning up, and really, I'm sure that we really impacted some people to do some good in their own community. So I'm glad that everybody that came out and participated, whether it was just grabbing some clothes or whatever, or helping us out, which was a really, really big job. So thank you, everybody. And also, thank you for the special people that just came out to make sure that we knew that they were there and supporting us. So I'm really happy to say that we had council people, we had a lot of other nonprofit organizations out there. We had Bibers Believer Fellowship. We had Piney Grove, which is another church that's right across the street. We had so many people come out to help us and just support us. So I'm very, very appreciative and very excited to say thank you.
And thank you, Ms. Butler, for your hard work. Did you want to say anything about it? We certainly appreciate all that you've done. She's shaking her head no. All right. Well, thank you, for Incorporated, for bringing all those clothes and the U-Haul truck and everything else. Office of Children and Families, Diva Ministry, and Sister Talk as well. Thank you very much.
Even though I wasn't there, thank you for people who was there, because I was moving in that day. So, but for next on BET Talks, it's called Economics Matter. It's January 30th. Please be there. It's going to be a good show. So, because financial literacy is utmost. It's a must. It's the important, because everybody need to know how to keep their money in check and know how to finance yourselves, and just come take notes and improve your quality in life by learning some simple things that is essential for life in order to live. So yeah.
Some more of our upcoming shows is Black History Month, which we always have every year, but now we're spreading it on to BET Talk. So that's exciting, right? That's really insane. We have self-care, God matters, small business matters, and more entertainment, where entertainment night, we're just gonna have some fun. Y'all ready? You gonna party, all right? So when small business matters. Sorry, getting tongue tied, but we're just going to be talking about our small businesses, talking about how they've been affected through this entire crazy pandemic in 2020 and going into the new year, 2021. We're going to talk about how it's impacted them and how we can support and help them. God Matters Part 2, because if you weren't here to watch God Matters Part 1, then we had a really, really good show. And before we ended, we realized that God's too big to be able to cover it in one show. So we should have a part 2. We can never get too much of God. So let's have a part 2. So we did. Yeah. And now we've been hearing us talk about it every week. Self-care. All right, everybody. Not just physical self-care, but you have mental self-care. Everybody has to make sure that, just like Miss Tanya and Miss Tasha was talking, after they got COVID, it was really hard for them because they were away from family members and everybody. And being away from people, we know that social distancing can have a long-term effect on everybody. And really, really impact us. So we want to make sure that everybody's okay and really okay up here. And so everybody is safe. And also want to make sure, y'all all staying, hygienic, staying very, having good hygiene while you're in quarantine, make sure that y'all treating yourself good, treating yourself. And Black History, it kind of explains itself because February's coming up right around the corner. Black History Month, that is our time of year. So we're going to have our Black History Idol interview showy thingy. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, stay tuned because we're going to explain it more later. But with that being said, on to the next slide.
Yeah. Rep Parker raised her hand, and I was trying to figure if she wanted to ask a question or anything.
Okay.
Oh, I was just coming on to say good afternoon to everybody. I have to jump off, but I did pitch this group to Secretary of Agriculture for him to do a segment with everybody and you guys can interview him. I serve on that committee. And it's good for you to have your connections with individuals from the state so we could talk about resources and different things that we can provide for this group and beyond for the districts. I just wanted to tell everybody hello. I'll coordinate that with Rich so we can set that up.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you. We really appreciate it. And that also brings me to what it says at the very bottom, which I didn't read. What do you want to see on BET Talk? So if it's ever a topic that you want us to cover here on BET Talk, make sure that you contact us or Mr. Rich or put it in the chat or the comment on Facebook Live right now because we want to make sure that we hear all of your wonderful ideas.
Yeah, next slide. Already there. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you. Okay, self-care is essential, like Brandon said, for the whole past hour. So, they said COVID-19 and other factors made 2020 a pretty bad year for so many, but also came out in a good way as well. Whoever survivor, so clapping that, yay. But so we want to tell you to take as much time you need to heal and take care of yourself because it's very important, especially for mental health.
All right, BET Helps is another branch of BET Talks, which is not our entertainment section. All right, so BET Helps is just to make sure that people that need help, with schoolwork, because we know it's stressful not being in person in school, so it can be hard, learning and in general, it can be hard, so if you ever need help or you need any type of tutoring, just let us know and we'll make sure that we'll get y'all set up. Space is limited, so if you need help, let us know right now because it is very limited.
Yep. So as you know, Black History Month will be next month. So we will support Black History Month by addressing as multiple Black influencers throughout every single Saturday on BT Talks throughout the month of February. So we need adults and youth who are willing to participate. So you're going to be introduced as that person on the thing. So you had to change your name to, like, say you want to be Sojourner Truth. That's your name. You're Sojourner Truth for the whole call. And you got to act like her and, like, recite one of the poems that she did, or, like, just like you're in a scene, your character, you're going to be an actor. So, but like, if you want to do that and you want to participate, just reach out to Mr. Rich or Miss Norris, Miss V. Everybody knows Miss V. So if you just want to help.
And as you can see, there goes the flyer right there. And I know that I'm not the only visual learner on here. So go ahead, look through those pictures. Go ahead and look through it. And if you want to see the full copy, that brings me to another thing. Go follow us on Facebook. Go follow us over on Twitter and on Instagram. My BT family on everything. Okay, make sure that you look us up to look at this flyer right here and to see all our other awesome posts.
Yeah, and like you don't just have to be, person from the past. You can be the person from the present as well. You can be Kamala Harris if you want to be, or anybody who you think changed history in a way, or like the first person who, I forgot her name, but anyway, BT support. So we also have open spots for our BT support. So if any adults have expertise and want to share them with us, just email us at info@mybtfamily.com to set up an interview with a team member, and we'll just get on with it.
Comic Book Club is a very good partner with us. They've been doing this throughout the month, you know, helping kids learn how to draw, make comics, and do a whole bunch of stuff, learning some really good skills, you know. So we finished our comic book club. I'm pretty sure it's all filled up, and we're excited to see what everybody is drawn and made, because we know that we have some talented people over there teaching our youth, and you know, just our youth in general being talented, and you know, teaching us a couple of things, teaching us a thing or two. So we're really excited to see what they come up with. And also, JaiOlivia, I'm gonna let you handle that last part, because this seems like two different sections in one.
Okay, so you get $300 relief from your bill if you were affected by COVID. We all were. So for what we call PGW at the end of the show, so limited funds available. So first come, first serve, okay?
And for the
Go
children,
get your money.
what that is, PGW is Philadelphia Gas Works. So people have started calling in, and you know, we all have been impacted. They don't ask you too many questions. One of the things they do say is that if you're a little bit behind, of course, you know, they won't turn your way. If your bill is on time, then that may be questionable. But certainly give them a call at the end of the show, because once that money runs out that they receive to support people, it will be gone.
Come on, you want that money?
Now, y'all all know
Oh
that
my
this part
God.
right here is my pride and joy. All right, so if y'all over on Facebook Live, or even in the show right now, and you're thinking that the show is over, not only is it not over because we're just getting started, but we got more things to say. So don't you dare leave. Don't you dare leave without listening to me say this, because I'm gonna be so mad, and I'm gonna know who you are if you get off right now. So listen to me. If you all are watching and you love what we're doing over here on BET Talks, make sure that you donate to us, and you know, make sure that you do you. Oh man, I'm just so excited because I finally listen, no JaiOlivia, because I'm so excited that I finally get to do it, because it's been 2 weeks. All right. If you're over there and you're watching us do this and you want to see more of this, make sure that you donate to us, and not only donate to us, but look us up on Amazon Smile, and do all the things. And I'm gonna get into that in a minute, but y'all can see that my head is about to explode, because I'm so happy that I get to do this again.
Like,
I
are you really shaking? Like, you really are shaking. Like, bro,
yes,
you okay?
I'm really shaking because I'm just.
But we don't spend a half an hour on commercials, so
exactly.
All right, I'm getting through it. All right, so if you all don't want to really go over on Cash App, which is my $ my BT family, and you know, donate, you can also use Amazon Smile, which doesn't take anything off of your prices. It just donates a little bit of what you spend on your product and donates it to BET. And a part of that will go to BET Talks, and another part of that will just stay in BET. And so all you got to do is look it up, you know, look up Amazon Smile, type in what you want to type in on your settings, Amazon Smile, put in which program you want it to be sent to, and bing, bada, boom, you're done. And you got everything in, you're done, donezo. You just, a little bit is going to us, and you're helping us out a lot. All right, so I'm guessing that JaiOlivia is not gonna read this.
All right.
I would think that since I talk so much, you would want to read this, because I would be on this for an hour.
Look, first up, the slide just changed. Thank you very much. Okay. BT Youth on board 900 AM. So first show is Tuesday, January 26th. It'll be the last Tuesday of the month from 3 p.m. to 3:45. So we need you to be on with us. So if you're interested, contact us. Call Mr. Rich today, so your bio can be sent to the station by tomorrow. And BT Youth Council will have a Zoom tomorrow, 1 p.m. So yeah, you've been warned. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram. And
look us up look us up online to look at our website at mybtfamily.com, which everything is BT Family. Think of the social media, type in BT Family. I'm guarantee you're gonna find us. So look us up on everything. YouTube, look us up on everywhere.
Look, because we finally got a Twitter, guys. Yay. Okay.
All right.
Yes. That would be a BT kid.
Thank you guys very much. And our last announcement, and then we're going to close out with our thoughts. we want to give those birthday shout outs again. Birthday shout outs to Tanya, which was yesterday. All right. Today, we actually have a birthday today, and that is Granny Wash, y'all. You know, that's my mother. For those who don't know, I love you, Mom. We appreciate you, all that you do for so many. She's the reason for the extended family. She's the reason why, I guess, you know, even I do what I do, because I've always watched her serve and care for others. So, Mom, we want to celebrate you today. We want to say happy birthday, and thank you for joining us every week. Anybody want to give Mom Washington a shout out, Granny Wash?
All right, everybody on the count of three. Everybody say happy. Everybody say happy birthday, Grandma, on the count of three. All right. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Grandma!
Hey, birthday, Granny. Oh my God. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday.
Somebody should have warned me. I could have played that. I could have played that.
Great, play the song. Play the song.
Okay, Google, play Happy Birthday to you.
We're gonna do that at the end.
We don't want the doctors to leave us. So, so you know, we go party for a little bit. Mom, don't you hang up when we're done, because we're gonna celebrate you for a minute. And we also want to give a shout out to Nadir, whose birthday I believe is Tuesday. So
yeah, Nadir. Woo!
Nadir. All right, he'll be turning 14. Okay. So
Okay.
all right. With that in mind, we're going to go back to, you know, our doctors and our survivors, or anyone that has some closing thoughts. And I'm going to let Brandon and JaiOlivia handle that before we close out. But I certainly want to say thank you all for joining us. And remember, although our young people are the ones that host it, as you can see, BET Talks is for all ages. In fact, our largest audience are adults. You know, our hosts, all of our young people are very mature, so we want to thank Marquise and Kyle and Melania. I know TJ is on here quite often. My J, I see you. Anaya, all of our young people. Nevin, who helps to put these announcements together. These are our young people who are doing some amazing things, so we certainly want to give them a shout out because they are awesome. So thank y'all. With that in mind, Brandon and JaiOlivia, let's get a few comments and thoughts from our guests before we have our survivors and our doctors close out. So I don't know if Michelle, Camille, you know, Diana, some of the names we see, if any of you guys have any thoughts, we don't want to leave you out. We certainly thank you for joining us also.
So, hello everyone. It's good to see everyone today. I just want to let you know that I did receive my first dose of the Madeira vaccine, and I did not have any side effects or complications. I just had, as the doctors have shared, just had the sore arm from the injection site, and sat for 15 minutes and then left the health department and one of the health centers and came home and continued to get on a Zoom meeting and cook dinner.
Wow, that is awesome, and good to hear that you are also not only, you know, safe from COVID, but also a pioneer in our community getting the vaccine, because we know a lot of people aren't getting it because they are skeptical. But I am glad to hear that you are being safe and getting it.
Thank you. Part of my job is I'm out in the community a lot. So as we get more people to become vaccinated, what will happen is that the team that I work under in the Department of Behavioral Health, we go out and meet with community representatives, especially if you've seen around the city where some of the police districts, along with some of our elected officials, are giving out food, as well as at the time, the testing sites in various communities. So we would go out and provide them with behavioral health information so that if anyone is having some concerns with coping with COVID, self-isolation, and needing to access treatment, we were out there. So, you know, I was in the middle of, you know, providing resources. So that's one of the reasons, you know, we were put on the list in category along with the medical staff.
Good afternoon. I have a question about the vaccines. So I know there are several types, One of them requires 2 doses, the other doesn't. Dr. Warren, I heard you speaking about the time period between them. Does it make a difference which vaccine you get?
Well, they're both mRNA vaccines, and they're both 2 doses.
Oh, both of them are 2
One
doses.
from Pfizer is 3 weeks apart between the first and the second dose, and Moderna is 4 weeks apart. They both have about 95% effective for you to get immunity. There's no difference as far as, the vaccine itself. I mean, there's differences as how you store it and how much is given in the vaccine itself. There is one pharmaceutical in New Jersey, Johnson & Johnson, that is working on the 1-dose vaccine. That is not out yet. They're looking maybe in the next few weeks to months for emergency approval for that as well. But right now it's just the 2-dose vaccine.
Have you gotten your second dose yet, or you?
Yes, I did. The second dose is usually the one where you have a lot more symptoms. And the reason why is because the first one, yes, your body's like, oh, okay, I know what it is. But then the second one, you're now still entering the same protein. And so now your body is ready for it. It may only be 50% ready, but it's 50% enough ready for that. You take the second vaccine, and now you're going to have the responses of, the body ache. Sometimes people have headache, fever. All of those are what immune responses do when you have something in your body that's not supposed to be there.
Thank you for asking that question, Ms. Butler, because I heard too that there were some of the vaccines that only took 1 shot. So
yeah,
clarifying.
That one's not out yet, but it will be soon. They're in the last stages of their clinical trials, and so I understand that they may be applying for emergency use soon.
Okay. And Dr. Warren and Dr. Rogers, I know you guys have to go, so I will, you guys can close out with your thoughts first, and then we'll go back to, anyone else that has some comments before we have Tanya and Tasha share their closing thoughts. So we certainly want to thank you very much for spending some time with us today. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. Thank you for sharing, and you are now a part of the BT family. So you can jump any Saturday you want and share with us.
Well, thank you so much for having us. We were really happy that we were able to change our schedules because we actually work overnights, and so we're usually like zombies during the day. We were actually happy to be here today, and thank you for inviting us. My cousin Colette for letting me know, and for my residents, Dr. Rogers and Dr. Akechi. We really want to connect with the community. That's what we're here for, and we enjoy working around our people. And so if that means that we can talk to you and help you and connect with you, that's what we're here for. And that's the reason why we chose to be in the communities that we serve.
I know this is a little off topic, but I knew that you and Miss Butler was related because y'all look just alike. Like, I was looking at y'all, I was like, I don't know, it's something about those two. I just can't put my finger on it. Y'all look real similar. And I was like, I know I'm not the only one that was like, they gotta be related because they look just alike.
Yo, you just made good sense. I was thinking the same thing. Oh,
like
Thank you, Dr. Rogers. Appreciate it. Your last thought for people who have any concerns about COVID or the vaccine.
So thank you again for having me. I'm honored to be here. I guess my parting thoughts would be stay safe, protect yourself. I know it's hard to be apart from people and distance, but it's important. And if all aren't on board, then we will never get out of this. And if you have questions, we're always here to answer them. But you make sure, as Dr. Warren said earlier, make sure you do your own research. So that when you come to the table, you have some idea of what's happening. And I know it's difficult, and so that's why we're here to answer the questions for you. And I encourage everyone, if you have the opportunity, to at least consider being vaccinated.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
All right. So
I have a question. Does it really take 20 years to get a cure? I heard that earlier.
What do you mean? Where'd you get that number from?
Earlier, I think I heard the CDC takes 20 years.
For a cure?
In order to approve?
Well, there's not
approve to approve
Oh.
a vaccine, it could take
Oh.
up to 20 years.
Yeah,
Is
so
what maybe
yes,
what I heard.
The average time is about 10 to 12 years for a vaccine.
Okay, 10 to 12 years.
12 years
to
for a
get,
vaccine to go into.
Would it be correct to say that from the time a solution is created to the time that a solution is enacted is more than 10 years?
No.
No.
10 to 12.
How long does it take when between drug companies and the CDC and doctors, how long does it take for a solution? Because people are like, oh, this is really rushed. How, it happened in a year. And I heard you saying like, well, it usually takes a lot longer than that. What is the average time, and what are the things that sort of make that a problem?
I can answer that.
Go ahead, you got it.
So I think it depends on the specific drug or the vaccine that you're talking about. A lot of that 10 to 12 year time are actually just trials. So they have it, they're just seeing the effects, and a lot of it's the long-term effects. So while you can have the vaccine in this case early, and you can use it early, the part that we're kind of, I guess, missing a little bit, or we're shortening, is the trials, the number of trials. Because a lot of times what happens when you have a new medication, they go through multiple trials, not just from the company, but from the other, like, regular communities. They test them in different areas. And so that's what we're going to be kind of missing. Well, I don't want to say missing, because we are in the trial now as we're giving the vaccine to people. So that's the 10 to 12 years. That's what lengthens the time for drugs to be, I guess, approved.
Thank you.
Formally.
That and other factors, like I talked about, the numbers of people that are involved in the trials. This is unseen. I mean, you've never had a trial that's had 70,000 people that has been involved in it. This is just, it's just, you can't use the same math. You can't use the same reason for this type of vaccine that you can for everything else.
Speaking of math and reason, is Bayesian Bayesian statistics, is that a thing? Like,
I don't know what
it is.
Bayes' theorem?
It is.
What is it?
About like false positives and stuff?
Oh, okay. I don't know what
It
you're
is.
talking about.
It's very difficult to explain, but it is a thing.
Yeah, it is a thing. And like, is that something that is that helpful for people to know about, like with false positives?
So I think it's helpful for people to know about when they're going to get themselves tested. And so I think what makes it most important is that people think that when they have a negative or most in this case in relation to COVID, when they have a negative test, that means they don't have COVID.
Testing.
Yeah, when they have a negative
Bayes' theorem is math, right? I mean.
Yeah. So it basically is like a statistical model that kind of tells you how accurate kind of your test is.
Your test is.
Yeah, so in this case, a lot of people are saying, oh, because I had a negative test, that doesn't mean I have COVID. And that may not necessarily be true, because there's like an infectivity phase. There's different stages of the illness. And so while a negative test may be negative at the moment, that doesn't mean you don't have COVID. And there's a lot of false negatives with this test because it's not very specific or sensitive as people think it is. And that's part of statistics as well. So yes, it's true, but it's hard to
I know I'm not.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know.
I know I'm not the only one that's listening to them explain what's going on, and it sounded like rocket science to them. I'm not gonna lie. A lot of this sound like a different language to me, because y'all first show I could understand. I was hanging on for the beginning, and then y'all started talking about like I can't even repeat what y'all was talking about because I was
just look up Bayes' theorem. Bayes' theorem is about expectations. I think a lot of it has to do with statistical expectations and statistics. And Bayes' theorem is not proven, I guess, but I think that it's a really important aspect of understanding tests and test results and the reasons why statistics don't always work out the way we expect them to.
Well, it's not expectations, it's actual numbers. How many people are coming back and not really positive, even though the test says positive. That's the specificity and the sensitivity.
So you're gonna have to put that in the chat so we can look it up, right, and research it.
My man,
That's why we said at the beginning.
All on top of that.
Notes. We said take notes. And Dr. Warren, Dr. Rogers, thank you again. Dr. Warren, tell Ms. Brown we said thank you for having you and allowing you to be shared with us because she's a part of the family too. It looked like
wow. Okay.
I was going to ask her to say something, but share.
It snuck in, it snuck out.
Snuck in and snuck out. Share our love. We certainly appreciate her.
Well, tell mommy. Thank you much again. Have a blessed day.
You got it.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
And Tasha and Tanya, congratulations that you're here, that you're a blessing, and keep doing what you're supposed to do, which is testifying for others. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else have any thoughts or questions for Tanya or Tasha before we let them close out? 3, 2. You know, I'm like a radio host. We don't like dead space.
Oh, I won.
All right. Tasha or Tanya, either one of you. Again, we thank you. In fact, Brandon, JaiOlivia, you thank them before they speak, and then we'll allow them to share.
I was just gonna let them talk because I of course I was going to, you know, I had stuff to say. I just wanted to let y'all know y'all are so strong. Y'all are so strong to be able to not only get over COVID, but to be able to come on here and talk with us and let other people know what's going on. And that the fact that I know that there are people on here that are watching this and have COVID. And your statement, you talking to them, because you're not just talking to us. When you come on here and you're speaking, you're talking to hundreds of other people, because anybody can watch this. And I know somebody, at least one person is watching this and have COVID. And I'm just letting you know, you got them through it. You got them through it, because what you're saying, they can relate to. And I know that I'm not the only one that when somebody's going through something and they let me know what they're going through, I'm like, hey, I'm going through that too. And that helps you push through. So I'm gonna let y'all know right now that y'all got some people through that. All the experiences y'all had, and a lot of the time y'all didn't really feel like y'all had a lot of people. Even though y'all did, y'all had us. But now those people have you, and they have your statement, they have your testimony, they have all the things that you just said on this show. Help them get through, help them break through.
Right.
So I'm really appreciative to you for that.
Same here. It's like, you don't understand, like, no matter what anybody say, like, whoever has words, like, somebody always be touched by what somebody says, and you definitely touch everybody in here, and you touch people on Facebook Live, and I know people on Facebook felt what they felt, and everything, and like this, like y'all are just so strong. Y'all are survivors. Y'all are strong, beautiful Black women who survived this thing when they put my thing at all the other things that happened, the possibilities. Y'all overcame that, and it's just so rewarding, and you're just so strong. And like, I'm about to tear up for like just getting emotional for it, because it's just like it's just so great to see people survive this. Just able to see survivors, and it's like, and women at that. Because, you know, everything is all love, and this is what this show is about. And I just want to just talk to you guys like this, and y'all, it's just great. It's just giving me warm fuzzy feelings to see you guys, even though I haven't met y'all at all in person. I just feel like I know you guys forever just by being on here, and it's just so rewarding and everything. And because like the whole entire time, that's a song. This whole entire time. Like all the songs I think about was Testimony by Marvin said, the Testimony song, and that's what y'all did the whole entire time. And that was, I forgot who sang it. Was it Marvin? Marvin Sapp. Yeah, but that was the whole time, and y'all just put tears internally in me, and about to be externally after this call. So I'm gonna cry about this later. I am, but it's just I'm really appreciated to all you guys, to you too, especially because I had my best friend that he had COVID as well. So, but he survived it as well. He didn't have the symptoms that we have like that bad, but he was through it too. And I understand his testimony through you guys, how it was to affect him. So it's just good to see that.
Amen.
We love you so much.
Tasha and Tanya, you got it.
Go ahead, Tasha.
Girl, you gonna always put me first. I just want to say, All I can say is mask up. Like I said, and Tanya said, COVID is real. And COVID, one thing that I will say, it does not discriminate. It does not discriminate. White, brown, purple, yellow, it does not. It does not. So I just ask that everybody just please mask up. Because not only am I protecting myself, I'm protecting you also. Be mindful of where you go, because you don't know where other people have been before you bring it back and go back to work or anything like that. I just want everybody to just be safe. Please continue your hand washing and take care of yourself, because like I said, COVID is real. It's real. And I thank God. I thank God every day that I'm still here and hopefully be able to help someone else that's actually going through it. And I thank you, Rich, also for inviting me in, so I can be a part of it. Because normally on Saturdays I'm ripping and running, but I came back home so that I could get on and be a part and share my testimony. Because my thing is, you never know who has COVID. So just to share the story and the testimony, mine wasn't like Tanya's. But I just thank God that both of us is here so that we can share with each other and spread it through Facebook Live and whatever other website that you have it on. So I do thank you. And I pray that everybody please stay safe. Love you all.
We love you too, Miss Tasha. And we love you too, Miss Tanya. We love all of y'all, all right?
Both the TTs.
Really, my name is Ratasha, but Rich always say Tasha. But it's Ratasha. But that's,
Well,
R is Richard also, so you get a little bit of both.
I say Raka for like both of y'all like together. Yeah.
All right, Ty, you got it.
all right. Ratasha, God bless you, baby. Oh my goodness. You blessed me with your story. It was just as deep, as mine. I'm not even going it's just like when somebody is wrong, the other one is wrong too. If they're doing something that the other person, did back. My God, bless you so much. And I'm so happy you're here. I feel like I know you, since you know Richard. So I have a strong feeling I do know you from when I was younger.
Probably.
But, yes. But to answer to give you my reasoning, I would say before you go to a event, use discernment and common sense.
Amen.
Like before you even, I know that it's something that we all missed. We have not been out in the world like that. I get that. It's tough, but it's amazing how many parties and stuff I'm seeing on social media and nobody has a mask on. Oh, they have it under their chin, but they don't have them on. They're smiling and they're both all of them breathing, with taking a picture. And I'm like, Jesus help them. So I'm always praying for people, but that's my thing I want to give everybody is just please just use discernment. Like, it's not, put it this way. If you went to a event and then you wind up getting COVID and being in the hospital, I mean, are you sitting there saying, dang, was this even worth it? Right. It's not worth it, baby, to anybody. And I also want to say, I'm going to give a little shot real quick. JaiOlivia, I know you. My daughter and I know you. That's my home church. Mount Tabor is my home church.
Wait a minute.
Dad family.
Back up.
Your dad is family. I am, you know who Tina is, right?
Yes.
That's my kid's grandmother. I was married to her son.
That makes more sense now. Hey, see,
now,
look. See my
daughter's face. You probably like, dang, she look just like Mark. She look just like. So yeah, I thought it was funny when you was like, I never met y'all before. I'm like, she don't even know.
I don't know. It's like names than faces. Faces than names.
No, it's fine.
I'd be like, huh?
I had to say that real quick. I thought that was so funny. I haven't been there in so long. Y'all were
Oh, me neither. It's okay.
But bless y'all. Y'all are doing an amazing job. So God bless y'all. Keep doing it, man. I'm so proud of y'all. I'm looking up to y'all. this was so like surreal to me. I've never done anything like this before. So I feel like seeing you young people on here helped me to you know, do this even more because I was nervous.
Y'all were too.
No, but it's okay. Everybody, no, that's the first thing everybody said. It was like, oh, 2 kids about to do. Oh, we're so nervous. What are they gonna ask? We're gonna ask. And then we asked them like regular, like transparent questions. Like, oh,
Yes. You guys are amazing, and oh my goodness, Richard Washington, my heart right there. That is my baby. So I love you so much, and Richard, you always been a mentor to me, and I've learned so much from Richard. It's not even funny, y'all. So I know y'all know what I'm talking about. So I'm so grateful for you, Richard, and the family. So I'm so happy I'm a part of this family now, and God bless y'all.
So thank you. And I know I said I was gonna let JaiOlivia and Brandon close out, but they've kind of already done that. We're gonna close out a little differently today. We're gonna give you a shout out again for happy birthday. We're gonna let the adults go first. You know, again, Mom, love you. So your ticket out of here, if you know Granny Wash. If you're left on this Zoom and you don't know her, no big deal. But your ticket out here is to say happy birthday to my mama and share with her some love. And once you share some love, you can sign off. So I don't care what order we go in, but Mom, we celebrate you. We love you. I appreciate you. And I know everybody on here does too. And I'm going to have a long day because people on Facebook have been sending you all kinds of birthday shout outs. And so I'm going to pull you into the room and let you look at the laptop or something so you can see who's shouting you out. But those who are on this Zoom, you can shout her out directly. So Tanya, actually, I'm going to start with you since you spoke last. Say happy birthday, and happy birthday again to you too. Happy birthday to Granny. She's sitting here listening to you. She's on there.
Yes, happy birthday, Mom. You know I love you. You are my heart. Oh my goodness. Y'all, real quick, she loved on me and my family for the time she's met me since I was 14 years old. So I am so grateful for you, and I miss you so much. Next time we come to Philly, we coming to see you and give you a hug. Hopefully COVID will be over.
Well, thank you so much, and it's good to see you and Ratasha alive and well. And there is no secret what God can do.
Amen.
And love y'all and take care. And JaiOlivia, Brandon, Marquise, Melanie, Melania, Ayana, Robert, all of you. God bless. Take care. And like she said, stay safe and do what you're supposed to do. Do what you're supposed to do to help. Because like I said, we're not in this by ourselves. No. We have to be there for each other. Because I still want to see a couple more years here on earth myself. So let's not be selfish. Yeah, so right. Take care. God bless. Love you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
All right. Who's next?
Grandma, I love you so much. Happy birthday. I'm so happy to know that it's your birthday. You're probably going to see me someday this week, probably today. But I'm so happy I'm so happy for you, Grandma. I hope this is your best day of this year. I really do. So happy birthday, Grandma.
You know, I can't get no sweets because, you know, I'm in New York, but it's okay. Either way.
Blessings. Good afternoon.
Happy birthday to you.
She picked up the phone. Someone had just called. Who's next? Give Grandma a shout out.
Who's next? Go.
Okay, well, I'll go next. I'm getting ready to sign off. But Miss Granny Washington, I just want to say happy birthday and may God bless you. And may God bless you to live many more years. So, and also, Miss Washington, don't forget to mask up when you go out, okay? Happy birthday.
Might have 2 or 3 of more.
I know that's right.
Mrs. Washington, this is Michelle. Just want to wish you happy birthday and many blessings for today and through the rest of the year.
All right, thank you. We keep it going. I got Mom on mute until we get the ball done.
Happy birthday, Grandma.
Happy birthday, Granny Washington.
I already talked to Mom this week. Happy birthday.
And we know some of y'all might be calling her and shouting her out directly too. All right. So again, I'm going to stop the Facebook Live piece first. We're going to stop streaming there. It's already done. Again, definitely love you, Mom. Awesome presentation. Hopefully we see you all next week. Economics matter. Let's get that money together. Your bank accounts, any questions that you might have. If you want to email or text me what some of your questions or thoughts might be, I'll get them to our presenters. All right, there we go. Rob's going to do economics matter. I'm going to come down and grab the card. Well, it's cold right now. I'm going to wait till the weather.
His hand. That threw me way off. I'm like,
Kind of it's somewhat of an inside joke, but we got you. Actually, not even a joke, but we got you. We'll explain that a little bit later. But certainly appreciate it. Yeah, we're going to get you in there too. All right. Anybody else? I'm going to, everybody, if you come off mute.
Oh, yeah. You guys say y'all wanted a tour of my dorm, right?
Yep, you can go ahead. Well, I'm going to play the birthday song in the background. You can give them a tour, and then we're going to be signing off.
Okay.
So you're at Pearson's. What's this called? What's the college called that you're at?
It's called the New School. I'm in New York City. I'm on 5th Avenue, Broadway-ish. Okay, so
it's a spot.
So this is my room. This is my quarantine dorm. So I'm about to move to my permanent soon. So because I'm about to be off of quarantine, but this is my dorm. It's a little messy because I've been I'm not going to undo everything, but here's the dorm. This is the one bed that's not mine, but I just put all my stuff there.
You are now listening to the sound.
That one.
Wait, what?
I have 2 desks and stuff and 2 closets. And this is the other room because I will have it's like an evidence roommate, but I don't have one. So like that. This is my kitchen. So I'll have the whole appliances there. And this is my living room with my fridge and all that stuff. And this is the bathroom. It's not spacious, but it's good enough. It has a tub and everything. And my permanent has an actual, it's bigger than this permanent. So everything is bigger. So I have a roommate there. But that's my tour. It's better with my phone because I can turn around and see everything. But yeah, that's my dorm right now. So, so much stuff.
Nice.
Who sings that? I want that added to my thing.
One day.
You didn't know that one. You had all the other songs. You didn't. I know it wasn't a Public Enemy or a Wu-Tang Clan, but you gotta know shit.
All right, everybody. I'll see y'all later.
All right, thank you all very much. God bless y'all. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we're definitely gonna have to stay in touch, Tanya.
Thank you. Thanks a lot to the hosts. You guys did an excellent job.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Hi, guys.
Hello.